All right, I recorded too long and I cut myself off. So this is take two. This is where we left off with blog content and writing and strategy and so forth. The next thing that I wanted to go over was really based on our last trip. I think that you have a tremendous opportunity to develop content that is authentic, that is engaging, that people fall in love with. You have um, two different audiences you have to satisfy. One is Google, as I mentioned before, and that's more of an algorithmic decision on placement of your site. And the second one is real people. And I think that what you don't need is you don't need a graphics designer designing bucket loads of pretty images and graphics when your food and your cooking and you and your guests and your dogs are everything. That's what you need. That's what we've got to be able to share. So I really, went back and forth about how to generate content, and some of it we've got to stay focused on blog writing because that's what Google wants. But on the flip side, I think there's even more value in the media blitz that we did, and doing that on a consistent basis. I think it's going to attract Google. You're going to have thousands of images and pictures and video, and people are going to fall in love with you and fall in love with the concept and fall in love with the trip and the place and the vineyards and Ed and his Muhammad Ali jokes and everything. They're going to fall in love with every piece of it. But I want to do it right. So I know this is a strange shot, and I've never really put together something like this. But I'm scared to death to play a manager role and outsource this piece because people are just really unreliable in a lot of ways. And I want to make sure that we are held accountable, and that when we're on site, we're taking pictures, we're taking video, we're blogging, and we're instantaneously adding
Kyle
it
says,
to...
proposals as requested. Hello, Jennifer.
Hang on. I want to make sure that we're adding it to the site and to your social media sites and creating all your galleries and whatnot. So this is what we put together, is a media blitz, 2 to 3 trips to the cooking school. We would have 3 people with us, a photographer, videographer, and then 1 person that does social media, blogging, as well as SEO. I'm guessing these would be 4 to 5 day trips, probably 150 hours. I believe we can pull together between 100 and 200 quality blog posts and pictures, photos. I think we can get between 10 and 30 social media videos. Those are hard because video is just time consuming as all get out, but I know we can get some really good clips, and I'd like to have more insight on how that's done, more stable camera space and so forth. We've got to have better internet. So I know there's internet available because it was over at the other house. Us getting that fixed before we get there would be great, because I don't want anybody that's on the team to have any excuses of why it can't get done, or why they can't get stuff loaded, or why they can't get blog posts out. I'm not a list maker. I like to get things done right then, so that's really what this would be. Now, for each trip that we went, I think we could come up with 3 months of content. So I've put in here not only the trips to the cooking school, but in addition I added the Tuscany trips. If you'd like, I'd like to be able to myself, as well as team members, depending on your resources and what you want to get done. The types of players we need is photography, videography, and social media SEO, blogger, and so forth in order to get the content done. So that is my thought process on generating content and getting in front of people. When we pull together this content, what I mentioned before is we will basically build in an incredible social media marketing plan, that we are creating alumni groups, we're targeting cooking groups, we're targeting travel groups, we're targeting wedding groups. There's tons of different groups, millions of people on Facebook that we could be touching with all of this content. And I am really excited about it. I think this is the best part of the whole plan, is creating this content, and it really all fits together. So with that being said, this is really our consulting and project management and strategy plan, with a twist because of the travel and content creation piece. But in addition to that, the very first recommendation I have, as we mentioned while we were there, is I would like you to consider pulling the social media project and making it, instead of having consulting and training with your internal team, they're going to learn from us over time, but they're not social media marketers. They don't have the right talent or the right know-how or even will to. They're going to argue everything that you do. It just is what it is. They can't be pushed. They're not going to push themselves. And technically, they don't have the talent to be able to do that. You know, if we need to be able to hit 1 million people on Facebook, we have developers that can create an application that allow us to do that. So it's unfair to them to expect that they're going to be able to perform at the same level as an experienced team. So the other proposal that we put together was you flipping your social media plan from a consulting agreement to an actual full-blown management and marketing plan. And I'd like to help oversee that and really create some killer strategies that are integrated with your content marketing, your blogging, your e-commerce, your conversions, and all the other pieces of this. So from a talent standpoint, I believe that we can reduce your overall expenses and increase your overall effectiveness by using the right talent with the right direction and the right methodologies and management practices in place. My goal would be is that this does not stress you out. I do not want you to lose sleep over who's doing what, your marketing. We will consolidate all of that information, present it to you in a format that you can make decisions on, that we can jointly make recommendations on, where people have accountability and they're held to that. And I think that, you know, we're going to really be able to help you pull yourself out of having to manage to that level. And then also, they can't BS me or my team, because we've done it all. We know this business inside and out and all their different components that they do. So I think that transparency is going to save you a ton of time, but more importantly, the investment that you put in, you're going to get 100 times out compared to what is going on right now with what I've seen. So it's impossible unless you live in this world day in and day out. It's impossible to know what to believe, what to trust, what's real, what's not. I live in this world, and when my programmers start talking or my SEO engineers, I instantly feel like a child because it's so complicated and it changes so frequently that if you don't study and practice this trade day in and day out, I'm sure you feel the same way in your own business. It's impossible to know what to do. So with that, those are the 3 different proposals. I'm really excited to be able to visit with you tomorrow, and I hope that this is helpful in me doing a quick review. You can come up with questions. None of these things are solid or stuck. Everything can be altered, it can be changed. We really wanted to put together what we believed was going to be a perfect scenario for you from a starting standpoint, and something that you could scale up later. And I think this is really going to be a good plan and relieve a lot of pressure and stress off of you. All right. With that, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go ahead and send these to you now. I'm going to go get some rest, and you and I are talking tomorrow. So thanks, Sandra. I appreciate it. I hope Ed's not, well, I hope he's having a blast. I'll say that. And Terrell's been practicing his Muhammad Ali lines. So by the time I come there, we're going to have some wicked, cool, fun video for you guys. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Good night.